Hello and welcome back to Nobody Does It, FK Metta here on Football Manager 2022, and we are at the end of Season 6 here on this Building a Nation save in Latvia. And as you can see, we won one more trophy again. It's pretty obvious but which one it was, I would say. And we're going to quickly run through what we've done in the previous season, including last year's Europa League campaign. And let's have a little chat and see what we've done in the past season, shall we? I would just like to say thanks. First of all, thank you very much for the support on the previous season episode, Season 5. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my video got featured in a suggested videos or something, but it kind of kicked off for my channel standards. I mean, it went from about 2 views to 20 plus over the span of about a day. Don't know what happened. Thank you very much. Thank you for anybody who's subscribed as well, liking the videos. Very much appreciated. Let's get on with the review. So as you can see, it was a small sampling of the transfer window this year because I felt like the squad needs a bit of an overhaul soon, and I didn't really want to keep bringing players in for the sake of it. So we've only brought in 4 permanent players this year. They all contributed in some fashion. We'll quickly run through them. We've got Lucas Vilela, a 32-year-old. Now he's a bit older than we'd normally buy. We brought him from Latvia in the same division as us. But as you can see, 27 starts, 21 off the bench, 10 goals, 6 assists. A very, very good addition to the squad. Just a solid, all-round central midfielder. I know it says midfielder left, but he pretty much plays in the middle most of the time. Just a good player. Sometimes you just need some good, stable midfielders in your team, I think. And this guy definitely fits the bill. David Atkinson Eduwu also came in for Valmiera for £51,000. 26 appearances, 7.24. Good centre-back option. Again, I know it says defensive midfielder. We brought him as a centre-back. Another Latvian from the same division, which is something that we're trying to do a bit more of because obviously again we want to give the other teams in the league some money so they can hopefully build their own teams as well as our rise so they can do quite well in Europe. We will actually come back to that at the end of the episode as well, how the other teams have got on in European competitions too, because I've kind of forgot to do that so far. Mihails Petrovs came in from Riga on a free transfer, 16 starting in the game, 17 off the bench, 1 goal, 6.92. Good, solid fullback option. He's a left back. We are letting a Russian left back go at the end of the season, so having this guy come in is a nice little sort of homegrown player. I mean, Latvian, 4-star potential ability, solid all round. He's someone who I think can improve and get a little bit better as well. And then we brought in another left back. We brought in Zoran Jalisic, a Croatian, for I think it was 200,000, 185,000. 2 starts, 9 off the bench. He did only join in the second transfer window, so he's still getting accustomed to the team. But again, a decent enough player, 19 years old. It's good to have 2 left backs. Decent bit of speed about them as well, and we'll see if these guys can compete with each other over the course of the season. On the outs, nothing really interesting. Einstein left for just under £20,000. Klushkins has retired. King Archerson has also gone because he was just whinging the whole season. And Eliseo Avramidis went to our new feeder team of BFC Daugavpils, and he did quite well. 11 goals, 4 assists in a total of 27 appearances. I mean, that's pretty good, really. He's a decent player. I mean, he's someone who, if you played him, he would play. And Kalnins went out on loan to RFS and barely played. And as you can see, we did win the league again. We won it by 18 points, but it wasn't as smooth sailing as normal. We did lose the second game of the season, 4 defeats in total, 3 draws, but we still quite comfortably in the end won the division. The problem we've got currently is that because the season runs through the summer, is that when we are basically trying to qualify for Champions League or anything like that, we are having to stretch the squad quite thin, and it's something that I'm still working on the balance of. But at the moment, we're winning the league comfortably. We can't really complain too much about what we're doing. As you can see as well, Silva, 31 goals in the league in 36 games. Outstanding. Average home attendance is up to 1,300, so all good. Now, in the cup, we didn't win the cup again. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Riga on penalties. Again, I don't care about the cup, and because we're going to hopefully just keep winning the league, I don't think the board will overly care either. I would say the real disappointment this season came in Europe. So the Champions League, we got through Tallinn, or Levadia Tallinn, in the first knockout round, and then we beat Ferencvaros in the second before basically throwing away the lead against Dinamo Zagreb, a team we have beaten before as well. 1-0 at home, 2-0 away in Croatia, which did knock us into the Europa League, where we came up against Celtic, and as you can see, we lost 1-0 in both legs as well. So we did drop into the Conference League this season. Now, obviously, this looks a bit funny, but this is the game against Rennes. I don't think we'd been drawn against them at that point, but that's who we got. We got Stade Rennais, and yeah, we got quite comfortably beaten 5-2 in aggregate. A much superior team overall, so our Europa League run did end after the first knockout round. But we did get into the Conference League, and despite a somewhat tricky group, I mean, it's not the easiest group here. Hertha Berlin, Zlin and Zorya. As you can see, we did lose 2 games, both against Hertha Berlin, but the 2 wins against Zlin in the middle effectively qualified us for the group, and Zora Luhansk didn't really contribute much to the group as a whole either. We are in the first knockout round of the Conference League, and I will show you who we get because the draw is in a couple of days' time. As always, the money, the competition prize money, a lot lower this year, 5.43 million. Not great. The reputation hasn't really gone up, but the sponsorship gone up, and the corporate hospitality and the match day as well, and the shirts are up to nearly 500 shirts. One day we will have 1,000 shirts sold in the season. One day. And as usual, the usual accolades. I mean, we talked about him last season and we said that Silva had a bit of a down year. As you can see, he kinda went nuts this year. 43 goals in total, 31 in the league. Most goals with 3, most goals in a league match with 3, 13 player of the match awards. He also did beat the most league goals by a striker as well. He's up to 77 in the league now for us. Panda with 14 assists. Just an outrageous season from Silva. It really can't be said how terrific Silva has been this year. If we quickly look through the squad, as you can see, goals, Silva, 43 goals in 46 games. 7 assists as well. Wagner Henrik with 19 goals. Prince Adu with 17. A bit of a down year for Prince Adu. We are bringing a striker in, and I think Adu's time may be on the out for the club. We'll talk about that in a moment. Grinsberg's again, 25 starts, 21 appearances off the bench, 9 goals and 11 assists. I don't know, again, I just don't get this Janis Grinsberg's thing. I can't let him go. He just produces for us. I love him. He's like my favourite player in the save so far. Silva's obviously the goal scorer. But this guy, 182 appearances for the club, 47 league goals. It's pretty good. I mean, he's a good player every year. He's just Mr. Consistent every single year. A bit of a down year this year on both ones, but you know, he didn't play as much either. He started less games than usual in the league. Special mentions for Dean, if we go to the average rating, Dean Close, our 21-year-old English centre-back. Great year. Just an excellent defender. Ermal Twara as well continued to his improvement. He has got to be in the Albania squad soon. Other mentions, Luis Gutierrez, a wonderful Colombian goalkeeper. We've just extended him on a 4-year contract as well. He just doesn't concede a lot of goals. 19 goals in the league this year. He didn't play every single game, but he's a good goalkeeper. Good goalkeeper for this level especially. In terms of the youth candidates this past year, Donald Miller, a Scottish central midfielder, was our star player. I don't know. I don't see it currently. Good passing, not really much in the physicals. His mentals are pretty weak as well. We'll keep him on the books, but I don't see, if this is our best prospect of the year, I'm just not really seeing it so far. He might be someone we can possibly flip to another team in the country. We'll talk about that if and when that happens. Other players that came through, Edgar's Apse has had a pretty strong season as well. I don't know if you can see it on here or not. No, unfortunately not. But he's had a pretty good start to his career as well. Roberts Apse, the other youth player from 3 years ago, he's had a cracking year. 25 goals, 5 assists and 29 appearances in non-competitive games. Good player as well. I mean, he might be the guy to replace Adu. We could bring him up as the replacement for Adu. I'm not sure yet because we've got someone coming in. And we'll talk about that now actually. So, Mateo Pereira is on the way out to Albion. He is running out of contract, and I haven't really been renewing my contracts too early because no one really takes our players. But Albion came in for him. He seemed interested in a new contract from us. We offered him a new deal, a good deal. But he said no. So we did stop playing him in the second half of the season. As you can see, 18 appearances in the Versliga. And then he just kind of stopped playing because, well, why play him? He's not going to be here for the long term. Good player for us, but, you know, good riddance. Ugis Rositas as well is also on the way out. He came through the youth development a couple of years ago. I just don't really see it with this guy. He's decent. He's 18. Is he going to get much better than this? Probably not. But he's going to a team in the same division as us, so hopefully he does quite well. And we had recently just signed our new striking option as well. He's coming on the 8th of January from Akademia Pandev. It's Dejan Nikolov, a Macedonian under-21 international. Good goal scoring record already. He can play out on the wing, but he will be playing as a striker for us if he comes in. He's kind of comparable to Prince Adu, to the point where I'm probably going to be confident playing this guy up front most weeks if we go that route. But he's coming in. We've got no one else at the moment coming in or going out. That is obviously something that we will deal with as we go over the window. And other things to mention, we have had a takeover. That's kind of it really. There's nothing else really to mention about the takeover. We're improving the training facilities again. We finally have the expanded scouting range. We can scout anywhere in the bloody world. Finally, our limitation of just some parts of Europe is over. We can hopefully now start to actually sign new exciting players. It's about time. They've also finally, at the end of the 2029 season, want us to win the Versliga. But next season they just want us to finish top 4. And then they want us to qualify for the Champions League. Like, we've won this like 5 years in a row, and they're only just like now. Yeah, if you can try and win the league at 2029, that would be ideal. Like, I've not understood this at all, but they've been supportive so far on the new board, and I said the key thing is they've given us this expanded scouting range so we can actually make use of our scouts finally, which we will actually have to sign some new scouts because we've only got 6. We can get up to 9. As you can see as well, our training facilities are now excellent, 4-star, youth facilities 3.5. That is the next one to come up. Junior coaching is still 5 and youth recruitment is 4.5. We are pretty much an excellent team now in this country. Our value is pretty good, 6.5 million nearly. Our wage bill is still fairly low. Our bank balance is nice and high. Our average wage is low. Our finances are secure. Manager man is now an icon at the club, and we are pretty much on the up and up here. Tactic wise, we are still playing a 4-4-2. It's the same formation. I've had no reason to change it. We're seeing lots of success with this, so I'm not going to change that at any moment really. I mean, there's no point doing that. Other things to mention, the Versliga is up to 63rd in the rankings now as well. We've gone up from 64. Went up 1 spot. But you know, it's pretty good. We're still getting there. If you look at the league table from the previous few seasons, so if we go to here, so some of the teams that have typically qualified for Europe is RFS, Spartaks, Riga and Liepāja are kind of the same. So if we look at last season, so Liepāja, how did these guys get on in Europe? There you go. They got to the 3rd qualifying round of the Conference League, but did get knocked out by powerhouse. So, you know, not ideal. If you look at RFS, what have RFS been getting up to in Europe these past couple of years? They got knocked out in the same round by Alexandria from Ukraine. Did beat Red Star Belgrade though. I mean, that's a pretty good result for them. Previous years, 3rd round, didn't qualify. 3rd round, yeah. Our fellow countrymen have to start getting out of the 3rd round of the Conference League. And what about RF? Was it RFS I was just looking at? No. If you look at Riga, who I would say are probably the best team in the country outside of us, what have they been up to in Conference League? They, again, 3rd round, got knocked out by Luzern. A really good double-legged win over Malmo the round before. I just wish these teams could start getting over that hurdle. 2nd qualifying round to Levski, 2nd to Debrecen, Villarreal. There's no shame in losing to Villarreal. It's just, they need to start pulling their weight a little bit. If one of them could get into the Conference League group stage, that would be a godsend for them. Maccabi Tel Aviv, in the end, put them to the sword there. 1st round. Yeah, Spartaks have offered nothing in Europe this year. Or any year, really. But, again, a little bit less of a season. I mean, the European success just wasn't there. The league success obviously was. The cup wasn't, but we don't care about the cup. And I'm pretty happy with the squad. There's some things I want to change. We'll hopefully have a bit of a refresh over the next year. Some players I think just need to go now. We have a pretty young squad, as you can see. I mean, we've got only 1 player over the age of 30. A few of our 25 and plus year olds are all going to be leaving the club this summer, or this winter even. We've still got some promising players like Alexandros Vassilides, who is improving rapidly and will probably be a mainstay of the squad this coming season. But that's going to be the squad review, that's the season review. I'll come back in just a couple seconds for you guys and show you who we got in the Europa Conference League, 1st knockout round before we end the episode. And here we go, it's time for the Europa Conference League 1st knockout round draw. Some of the teams in here, I mean, there's nobody that really stands out as the dominant side here, I would say. If we just hit draw teams, we've been given Servette from Switzerland, and without knowing much about what they've been up to these past couple of years, I feel like this is a winnable tie. We're not going to win this competition, of course, but like Caljw, Salzburg, and technically dealing with Zagreb, we'll probably end up playing Ferencváros again or Karabag again. But other than like what Nice, Caljw, Salzburg, I don't think there's anybody to really be scared of in this knockout round. And Caljw and Salzburg are going to knock each other out. So I'm not saying we're going to win the Conference League, but I'm hoping that when we come back next episode, I'll have some good news about getting quite far in the competition. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you again for the support on the series so far. I'm really enjoying the save. Hopefully you guys are too. And I will see you guys for the next episode, hopefully, and again, in a couple days or so time. We're still not working on a schedule. They're just coming out when they come out. When the new game comes out, we'll have an actual schedule, don't worry. Thanks very much for watching. See you guys then, and goodbye.